Okay, so what happened here? I started with the pads. That was a safe choice because I wanted to create ambience. I wanted to create the mood for the song. This is not a powerful song, at least not at the start. This is a meditative song. So I wanted to start really soft. The pads were the right choice in that case. I also recorded everything coming from my EWI right from the start, before I knew that the moment I started adding the bass and the percussions, I needed something up there in order to keep the ear entertained, because if I just add the bass for the B section, yeah, okay, it may work, but imagine with this. Yeah, so this is unusual because I usually don't record anything with my solo channels like the EWI, but in that case I decided to use that because I wanted much material with a lot of reverb on a high register in order to keep the ear entertained. And I decided to build the song from a pad which I could use both as a A section and a B section. This is exactly the same chord, which is a C minor with the 7th, the 9th, and the 4th. You can do a lot of things with minor chords. And the only difference is that the first part is played here and the second part is played here. This is enough for giving movement to the chords section. Nothing more than that. And I started from the bass of the B section because I knew that the moment I started to play the main theme, I couldn't go back and record also the bass for the second scene. And then there were percussions under that, just a little. And then I added the harp, which is supposed to be played only in the B section, which means that it is outside the grid. So in order to launch it, I have to click on it with the mouse or to use the scene number 2 in combination with all the other keys. And then when I was satisfied of the sound, it was time to add the real drums. And once the drums enter the scene, there is no coming back. If you play an ambient song, once the drum enters, especially the kick, there is no way to stop the train. The train has already left the station. You have to move on. That's why you cannot just stop and record the B section after adding the drums. In that case, you have to plan ahead and prepare the B section and then add the drums once you go back into the A section. Now if I want to launch also the harp, I'm gonna just play second scene and then add the instruments missing. Okay, regarding guitars and the Juno, which are these two, let me just play the percussions to have a bass. Both of them are played with very neutral voicing because guitar is playing on, if I remember correctly, okay, which is E flat, B flat, and D, which are perfectly fine on C minor, but they can be played on every other tone of any other grade of C minor. And same is for the synth, because it's, if I remember, let me just play that again. Yeah, it's first, third, and fifth of the chords. These are very safe voicing, which can be played on any bass notes, and you may decide to use them on B or A section. But if you use them on the B section instead of the A section, you create difference between the second section and the first section. So the second section is gonna play just like this. While the first section plays like this. So, when planning ahead and when composing, you should do your best to create two sections which, at the same time, use the same material, part of the materials we have already laid down, but they are distinctive enough so that when you listen to them, you know that you are in B or you are in A. The elements to be recycled are, for example, percussions, because these ones are pretty neutral. They can work both on A and B, and you don't have a real drummer, so you cannot just record a second line of drums different for the first one. For example, because I didn't like this one, I can... Okay, yeah, it would be nice to have them, but there is no time for that, because remember, you can't keep your listener waiting for you to build the song. Everything you do must be justified and must entertain your listener. So if you're coming from this, you can recycle the percussions and just use different elements for the others. So the things you can work on is the bass line and embellishment. So if the second part, if the B section, if the second scene, or if you want to call it the chorus, it's dynamically bigger than the verse, it's easier to follow. And this is also the reason why I added the harp, because it pushes me on, and this is where somewhere during the performance I would add, in my case, also the horns.